Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to this lecture series of SCERT, Learning Never Stops. I am Dr. Lovely Puri, Head of Pre-Service Teacher Education Branch in DIET, Rajasthan. First of all, I would like to thank Director SCERT, Mr. Rajveer Singh Ji, our academic head, Dr. Nahar Singh Ji, and his entire team, Mr. Pramod, Mr. Sanjay, Mr. Manoj, and Mr. Dheeraj, for providing us this opportunity to share our experiences at the time of COVID-19. I'm also thankful to the viewers of this series, our DLA trainees, BA trainees, teachers, and teacher educators. As you all know, this is the time of COVID pandemic, and the entire society and its social institutions, there is change in the social structure as well as functions of all the social institutions, not only in the Indian society, but in the entire world. So, the process of socialization of the child is also hampered. Now, today I will discuss about the socialization of children during COVID-19, challenges and opportunities. I'll start my presentation with a quote that there is only one thing in life which never changes, and it is the change. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic is declared as pandemic on 11th March 2020 by World Health Organization. Even till today, there are 48.8 million cases of COVID-19 have been reported in the world, and out of which 841 million cases have been reported in India. Now, due to spread of COVID-19, authorities worldwide had responded by implementing travel restrictions, lockdowns, work from home facility in order to slow down the spread of this disease. Even schools, universities, and colleges have been closed either on the nationwide basis in approximately 161 countries, affecting 98.6% of the world student population. With a full lockdown being imposed in India in the education sector, initially came to a standstill and putting nearly 321 million students away from the school. Now, let us understand that the effect of COVID-19 on any society is not simply in terms of its consequences for the spread of the disease, but it also includes implications on economy, on political dimension, on cultural dimension, as well as on social dimensions. Let us take one example to understand this, like when we avoid national and international traveling and cancellation of services, this will not only impact the economy of the country by stopping airlines and traveling agencies, but also the recreational element is no more there. People are not moving here and there, they are not going here and there, and so recreational element is also influenced. Along with this, even the cultural exchange is lacking. So, of this COVID pandemic is not only on one social institution or on one dimension of the society, it influences various dimensions. As we all know, the impact of COVID-19 is on all the social institutions. This pandemic affected all the social institutions of the society, which are responsible for socializing the child. बच्चे के सामाजिकरण में जितनी भी एजेंसीज जो है जिनमें वो पार्टिसिपेट करता है या उनका हिस्सा बनता है वो सभी कोविड-19 से इन्फ्लुएंस्ड है। लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल फैमिली, स्कूल, कॉलेजेस, प्ले ग्रुप, economic institutions, political institutions, religious institutions, health services. That means almost all the agencies which are responsible for doing the socialization of individual, they have impact of COVID pandemic on their structure as well as and the change in structure is responsible for changing their functions also. Now the question is what is socialization? As we all know, man is a social animal. He is converted from a biological organism to a social organism through the process of socialization. जैसे आप समाजीकरण करते हैं कि समाज में बच्चे को समाज में रहने लायक प्राणी बनाना. Socialization is a process of learning the norms of the group and the society. जिस ग्रुप का बच्चा हिस्सा है उसके नॉर्म्स को सीखना जो है वो समाजीकरण है. It is a process through which social beings they develop relationships and association with each other. And socialization is a lifelong process. It starts from birth and ends till death. जन्म से लेकर मृत्यु तक चलने वाली प्रक्रिया है. It is a process of learning to live and work together. It is a process through which the child or individual learns to live and work together is socialization. The socialization process in the society is going through 4 sub-processes. Now these processes are, and failure in one process leads to the failure in other socialization processes also. Like in any society, the process of socialization involves learning the social culture. The child will learn the culture of the social group in which he or she is born. आप उस संस्कृति को सीखता है बच्चा जिसमें वो पैदा होता है. Again, the child will learn the social norms of the group. Social norms are basically the rules and regulations of behavior. The child will learn how to behave, how to interact, how to respect, what gestures to use, what body language to use. All these are social norms. And child also learns social roles and status. In society, in various socialization agencies or agencies which are responsible for socializing the child learns various social roles. That the most beautiful example of this learning of social roles is the role play games performed by the children. आपने देखा होगा छोटे बच्चे जो है वो जब डॉक्टर का रोल करते हैं तो स्टेथोस्कोप लेकर के एग्जामिन करते हैं दूसरे बच्चे को इवन प्रिस्क्रिप्शन भी लिखते हैं. So from there they have learned these roles through observation, through imitation. So socialization means learning social roles. A person performs different roles in society depending upon his position. A person may be father in the family, may be a son in the family, may be a neighbor for neighbors, may be a colleague in his organization for others. So learning of social roles is beautifully performed by individuals through imitating them. Even learning social behavior. The child start, starts learning initial behavior in the family, that is primary socialization, and later on his horizon of socialization is increased when he learns his other social behavior in the school, in the neighborhood, with other agencies like mass media, even political system, economic system, religious system. So he learns how to behave in other agencies of socializations also, which is called secondary socialization. Now, what are the functions of socialization? सामाजिकरण के काम क्या है समाज में? नंबर वन, it converts human from biological being to social being. From a biological organism, an individual is turned into a social being. Number two, socialization contributes in the development of personality of a child. It is through socialization child became disciplined, and it is through the process of socialization child perform different roles. It is through process of socialization that child also establish knowledge and different skills. In Indian society, when we have caste-oriented, traditional Indian society was caste-oriented society in which not simply knowledge is transferred from one generation to another, but training for occupational skills was also given by family and kin group. So, transfer of skills and knowledge is also the function of socialization. It is through socialization the social order of the society is also maintained. And it is through socialization one generation transfer or transmit the culture from one generation to another. That means the total way of life of the group is transferred from one generation to another through the process of socialization. पूरा जिंदगी जीने का तरीका ही जो है वो एक जनरेशन से दूसरी जनरेशन को दिया जाता है थ्रू ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ कल्चर. There are two categories of socialization. सामाजिकरण की दो कैटेगरीज हैं. One is primary socialization, another is secondary socialization. In primary socialization is concerned with our basic needs like food, clothes and shelter. And the major agency of primary socialization is the family. In primary socialization, child develops language, self-identity and other skills. But in primary socialization, there are no strict norms. Whereas in secondary socialization, it satisfies the secondary needs like safety, love and respect. And the agencies of secondary socialization in the society are school, religion, mass media, political system, economic systems, etc. They give social training and they follow social norms and they follow certain norms. Now, have you ever seen any family indicating on its wall the rules of the family? क्या कभी आपने कोई ऐसा घर देखा जहां दीवारों पे लिखा हो कि इस घर में 8 बजे के बाद आना मना है, खाना मना है? No. That means the family as an agency of socialization, the rules and regulations in this situation are not written on the walls. Whereas in other social institutions like society, like in school, the rules are written on the walls that maintain punctuality, remain disciplined. And similarly, in religious places, the rules are written. यहाँ जूते चप्पल पहन के आना मना है. Okay? So, in primary agency, that is family, the rules are there in the mind of people and they are verbally transferred from one generation to another. Now, at different stages of life, there are different agencies which are responsible for socializing the person. Right? In the preschool years, that is in the stage of infancy, it is basically the family and the parents and the sibling and the grandparents. They play important role in socializing the child. बच्चे के समाजीकरण में family का role है. Even the role of toys and mass media is there. For socializing our child, we also provide different toys to boys and girls. लड़की को किचन सेट देते हो और लड़के को गन. So even in the toys we differentiate this in terms of their socialization. At the time of childhood, when a child goes to school, it's the teachers also They play very important role. Friends and playgroup circle, they play very important role in the socialization of the child. Even role of community is also there. At the time of adolescent age, it is the social network which plays important role. Even the friendship gangs, they play very important role, and recreational groups, they play important role in the socialization of the adolescent. In terms of adulthood, when a person he was married, he entered into the life partnership. His life partner, his in-laws, his colleagues, his own children, his uh, his affiliation with various economic, political, religious institutions, उन धार्मिक संस्थाओं में, उन इकोनॉमी में, उस राजनीतिक संस्थाओं में जिसमें वो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहा है, they are all responsible for influencing the personality. That means they are all responsible for socializing that adult. One thing which is really important and which is confusing people is that it is a general saying to maintain social distancing. सामाजिक दूरी बना के रखिए. It is a general slogan in the society, but this is a wrong notion. As we all know, it is not social distancing, it is physical distancing. That means we should remain physically at least 6 feet away from the people in order to get infection of COVID. That means we should use the term physical distancing rather than social distancing, because at the time of COVID, I think we should remain virtually connected with our loved ones in order to avoid social isolation in the society. So, social distancing, rather than maintaining social distancing, we must maintain physical distancing. Now the question is, when COVID-19 is or COVID pandemic is influencing the structure and functions of all the social institutions of all the societies. Now I will take only two social institutions. One is family, which is a primary socializing agent, and other the school, which is secondary socializing agent. There is a big change in the role of these two social institutions. Like, what is a another question is, what is a family? A family is a group of individuals living under one roof, united by marriage. Now, in traditional Indian society, it was basically an agrarian society. The concept of joint family was there, but due to urbanization, industrialization, our contemporary family is a nuclear family. Now, in a nuclear family, we have husband, wife, and the children. But due to COVID-19, due to lockdowns, due to work from home facility, now the father is not going to his office, even mother is not going for her job, even kids, they are not going to their school. Now the question is, now the question is, if socialization is interaction between individuals, the total interaction time at the time of COVID-19 is increased in the family because everybody is there at home. Now, if family is responsible for generation, what are its goals? Let us understand them. Family is basically responsible for transmission of culture. In culture, what language, the mother tongue, a child speaks, what skills he acquires, to which religious group he belongs, and even in the family, morality and character also get strengthened. Not only this, interest and habits of the child it also develops in the family. Now, The question is, family is, we can say, family is the primary place of learning and mother is the first teacher of the child. So, the role of mother is really important in the socialization. In family, have you ever heard any abuse in the society uh, regarding your misbehavior? Have you heard? क्या कहते हैं लोग? लोग कहते हैं मेरी माँ ने ये सिखाया होगा. Why? Because we believe that mother is the first teacher of the child and family is the first agency for socializing the child. So in the family, we also develop sense of belongingness. That I belong to this family. These are my parents. This is my culture. And in the end, we can say all-round development of personality is in the family itself. Now the question is, do you think the role of family during COVID-19 is changed? Yes, it is changed because in the wider society, you have stress, negative attitude due to deaths, due to infection. So at this time, because the child is not going to school, so at this time I think the role of parents is very important in the family. They must have calm and positive attitude. They should maintain a positive attitude so that the same can be transferred to the children. Family should stick to a routine. Even family should provide opportunities to the child to feel or to express his emotions because emotional stability of the child is disturbed. And even family also create distractions to enlighten the mood of the child. It's also the duty of the family to keep their child away from the false information about COVID-19. As a parent, it is the duty of the parents to monitor the behavior of their children. Parents should also manage stress and they should praise their children whenever they are behaving well. In order to reinforce that behavior, praise is very important. Parents should, at the time of COVID-19, parents should also teach their child about keeping safe distances because physical distancing is really important to avoid the spread of this virus. And it's the duty of the parents to make hand wash and hygiene a fun rather than imposing them as a habits at the time of COVID-19. Now, one thing which is also very important is that at this time, parents are not doing only their role as a parent, but they are also doing the role of teacher. स्कूल बंद है तो माँ बाप जो है वो खाली माँ बाप ही नहीं है बल्कि वो टीचर का रोल भी कर रहे हैं. So parents are doing the role of teacher also. So that means there is large change in the functions or role of the family as a primary institution of socialization. Now the question is, those children who are single and those parents who have multiple children, whether they think the socialization of their children, they are going in right direction. Parents with single child, they believe that their child must be missing sibling interactions. And parents with multiple children, they think their children are missing. Although they are enjoying sibling relationships, but they are missing peer relationships because in the socialization of the child, peer relationship is more important because it helps the child to negotiate with other children. Now, there is again, at the time of COVID-19, there has been reverse the role of parents and children. There is role definition change in those situations where the parents are old. Now, in these situations, now children are taking the responsibility of making sure that their parents are practicing good hygiene. The role definition of parent and child is changed. बच्चे और माँ बाप की जो रोल डेफिनेशन है वो बदल गई है, और बच्चे जो हैं अब वो ये देख रहे हैं, they are making it sure whether their parents are practicing good hygiene, and the parents, they are performing daily chores, and they purchase groceries from the market for the parents. माँ बाप को नहीं जाने देते, बच्चे कर रहे हैं, and they are keeping a constant check on their health. So there is again due to COVID, in those situations where we have aging parents, the role definition of parents and children is changed. In a brief policy brief given by United Nations on the impact of COVID-19 on children, it was explained that it is a universal crisis that for some children, the impact of COVID-19 will be lifelong. खत्म नहीं होगा जिंदगी भर. Another thing, they believe that COVID is more damaging for the children in the poorest countries and in the poorest neighborhood. आप इमेजिन कीजिए वो बच्चा जो किताबें नहीं खरीद पाता, स्कूल नहीं जा पाता, ऐसी पोजीशन में जब डिजिटल लर्निंग हो रही है तो स्मार्टफोन कहाँ से खरीदेगा? तो ऐसी सिचुएशन में to switch over from our contemporary teaching to digital teaching is difficult for a poor child. Now another thing, another social institution which is responsible for socializing the child is the school system. Now there is a big change in the school system also. The entire school system moved towards digital learning. सारा स्कूल जो है वो डिजिटल लर्निंग हो गया क्योंकि बच्चे को स्कूल जाना ही नहीं है. जब जाना नहीं है तो सारी पढ़ाई घर पे ही होगी, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस होंगी. During online classes, teachers deliver coursework, assignments, and assessment to the students through internet and digital media. Even there is change in pedagogical practices. In online classes, teachers will follow new pedagogical paradigms. Now, what are the opportunities of digital classes during COVID-19? क्या अवसर क्या है डिजिटल क्लासेस के बच्चे के लिए इस समय में कोविड पैंडेमिक में? नंबर 1, students can learn at their own pace. Number 2, there is more flexibility in terms of time schedule. They get more time for fun with the parents, sports at home, and other recreation activities. So the element of flexibility is there in the digital classes. Number 3, we can repeat the classroom learning through recorded lectures. Another thing, another opportunity of digital classes is in remote teaching or areas where we can repeat the lecture through e-classes. And we can use as many technologies as we can for the teaching. But there are certain challenges also in digital learning during COVID-19. Now, what are these challenges? The cameras and laptops, they will not replace the natural learning of the child in a physical school. Another thing, when a child is going to school, the type of interactions is going in the morning assembly, in the library, in the classroom, in the lunch break, in canteen, in clubs, in labs, in playground, in doing group projects. in celebrating annual events, they created an environment for the child. These are all indirect learning experiences which are responsible for the overall development of children or overall socialization of a child. So in the digital learning, all these experiences they are missing. Even in online classes, face-to-face interaction with the peer and teacher is also missing. We don't have face-to-face interaction. Again, there are certain other issues like when the teacher is teaching, silence of the students, it creates a confusion whether they are paying attention in the class or not. So again, it is in the confusion is in the mind of the teacher whether the child is paying attention or not. That this approach is teacher centric rather than student centric. When we do physical teaching, that time the approach is more child centric or student centric. Another thing, which is again very important, that children who are self motivated, they perform better in these classes in comparison to those children who need external motivators from peer group or from others to get to remain motivated. This is again the drawback of this virtual class. Another thing, low income students who can't afford digital devices are lagging behind. भाई बच्चा अफोर्ड ही नहीं कर सकता, वो फोन खरीद ही नहीं सकता स्मार्टफोन, तो वो तो पीछे रह जाएगा. लो इनकम स्टूडेंट्स के लिए भी ये एक प्रॉब्लम है. Now, what are there are certain other challenges also in the socialization of children during COVID-19. इसके अलावा भी और भी कई चुनौतियां हैं बच्चे के सामाजिकरण में. वो क्या है उनको भी जरा देख लेते हैं. जैसे stress and unpreparedness. Because of COVID-19, a sudden change occurred in society, which is responsible for demotivating the child, and the children they don't have to say anything that is happening around them. बच्चे को समझ ही नहीं आ रहा उसे क्या करना है. This gives anger and stress to the child. Number two, due to lockdowns, due to closing of schools, children are not going to their school. They are neither interacting with the neighbors. पड़ोसियों से भी interaction नहीं हो रहा. फिर करे क्या? It may be lonely and need additional attention and support from the parents at this time. Another thing, anxiety and panic is increasing. Why? Because of the fear that they will not get infection or their loved ones will catch an infection, and even the emotional trauma and grief due to the death of people around them. उनके आसपास अगर लोग मर गए हैं या infection हो गया है, this also increases the anxiety and panic of the children. Difficulty in making new friends. The child find it difficult to make new friends because of the lockdown. But they are not going out. When they are not making new friends, that means children are not able to get new experiences on various aspects. With the children, they are not getting new experiences on various aspects with other children. Another problem is excessive conflict with existing friends. Whatever friends they have conflict with them. Now, why this conflict is there? Because of the miscommunication and less communication. Less communication or less communication with their friends due to social distancing. Another problem, shyness. A child might be too shy to engage with others his relationships because now he is tuned to stay alone when he is not interacting with the people around them in lockdown. In the situation of when the lockdown will open, the child will still feel shy. Now he is not conditioned to interact with people around him. So this is the problem again. This shyness will continue in his entire life. Now another thing, lack of social values. The child, those social values like sharing, cooperation, and coordination, which will be inculcated in the behavior of the society due to his social interactions with other children, it's again missing in the behavior of the child due to devolution of society as a structure. शेयरिंग है कॉपरेशन है ये मिस हो जाएगा बच्चे के बिहेवियर में. Now, what are the opportunities for socialization during COVID-19 or COVID pandemic? क्या opportunities हम as a parent, as a teacher create करें बच्चे के लिए इस pandemic के समय पे? हम अब थोड़ी सी इस पे we'll discuss about it. Now, number one is we must host happy hour session with the extended family over phone or video calls to enlighten the child's mood. We must create happy hours or we must establish deeper bonds with the loved ones using social media. We must, as a parent, interact with other family members in order to enlighten the mood of the child. As a parent, we must stick to a time schedule. We must encourage child to stick to a time schedule. बच्चा लेथार्जिक हो जाएगा, healthy routine follow नहीं करेगा, तो parents should instruct him to follow a strict time schedule in order to avoid his lethargic lifestyle during lockdown. Parents should take initiative to remain mentally peaceful themselves. If the parents are peaceful, अगर हम शांत हैं तो हम सामने वाले को शांति देंगे. हम अशांत हैं तो हम सामने वाले को अशांति देंगे. So our kids will learn. Our kids will be peaceful if we as a parent will be peaceful. And how will we derive peace? Through meditation, through yoga, and by doing other mindful activities. Parents should spend time with the children and teach them to smile and grateful to the little things in life. A smile is the biggest motivator for the child or for everyone. You don't have to spend any money. It's simply the smile of the person which motivates others. So it is the duty of the parents to encourage a positive value system in the child, showing gratitude towards caregivers and loved ones. It's an important saying that values are taught and not taught. At the time of COVID-19, parents must spend some time, invest some time in making their children learn social skills. These habits are simply imitated by the child by looking into their parents, looking into the parents of the behavior of their parents. Now, like practicing cleanliness, the child will learn. Even talking calmly with others in the challenging situation is also learned by the child from his parents. At the time of COVID, parents also help the children in exploring new talents like cooking, painting, singing, and dancing. These recreational habits establish a bond between the parents and the children. Many teens they crave social interaction. Parents should be understanding towards this need of their teens. But remember, this is important. Parents should also have a check on their behavior, that how much time they are doing interaction on the phone or on the online interaction. So it should be checked by the parents. It is the best time for the children to indulge in household chores like washing utensils, clothes, mopping, gardening, and dusting. This is the time when no helpers are invited in the house. So, with this, when the children they contribute in the family, this will develop a dignity of labor in their behavior. Since the classes are going on online, students they are attending classes either through smartphones or through computers. At this time, their screen time is increased. Now, what can family do? Family can engage children in various indoor games like board games, like chess, Scrabble, in order to improve their cognitive abilities. Even family can arrange physical games for the children inside the house, like jumping, skipping, catching the ball, tug of war, and musical chairs. Parents should remain transparent and explain the rationality behind whatever they are doing, whatever restrictions they are putting on the child. Because if they put restrictions without telling the child, the child will be rebelled. So, in order to avoid the rebelling attitude, it is advisable that parents should maintain a transparent behavior. The family should encourage exercise every day as a leading healthy lifestyle. This is important for the balanced life. Parents should also understand the need of the child that they also need some space in isolation. Parents should respect their need and allow them to spend some time with themselves. अपने आप से समय बिताने का उन्हें समय दीजिए बच्चों को. Teachers, they also play a very important role in this pandemic. Teacher का रोल में अध्यापक की भूमिका में क्या चेंज होगा? They should not deliver only subject content, but also use motivational techniques, ice-breaking activities to make learning more interactive and child-centered. Another role, teachers should provide counseling to the students at all the times to help them to cope up with the stress of COVID-19 or COVID pandemic. Now, there is a problem with the socialization. In the digital world, human beings are replaced by digital machines. Now, there is a confusion whether digital interactions will serve the purpose of human being or they will replace human being, or it is not possible for the digital things to replace human interactions. Because when a child goes to school or interact in a family, his interactions, not only his formal interactions are important in the socialization, but also his informal interactions are very important in the socialization of the child. So when the child is not interacting with human beings either in the school or in other institutions which are responsible for doing the socialization of the child, that means his interaction will not be complete because in a machine it is not possible to express our attitudes, our behavior, our interests. So a machine is more of a mechanical thing. So in order to have the socialization of the child in a better way, we have to replace, it is not possible for us to replace machines with the human interactions, but we will try to make these interactions which will be provided by the machines more fruitful, like non-cognitive areas should be emphasized in online classes rather than emphasizing only cognitive areas. In online classes, we must emphasize non-cognitive areas like leadership, like friendship, like other dimensions which are really important in the life of the child. Then we must emphasize informal interactions through virtual mode rather than strengthening simply the cognitive domain. Why? Because informal interactions, as we all know, informal interactions are really important in the life of a child. Like when he goes to school, his interaction with the gate wala, with the canteen wala, with the uniform wala, with his friends, his participation in morning assembly, his participation in various cultural activities, in various celebrations like celebration of annual day, Independence Day, all these interactions are really important and they are informal interactions, not simply formal interactions, but informal interactions. When a child interacts with the teacher, with the principal, non-teaching staff of the school, all these interactions will play a really important role in doing the socialization of the child. So all these interactions now at the time of lockdown, they are the child is not enjoying all these interactions. Now, therefore, what we can do is we can give a topic for informal discussions, we can give a topic for debate. We can also organize virtual celebrations like celebration of Independence Day, celebration of Rakhi, different social, cultural celebration of different social, cultural, and national festivals online so that informal interactions, the child will enjoy these informal interactions also, which are really important for the socialization of the child. The third thing, we can also in virtual classes or in virtual mode, we also organize group activities through which the child can share his or her experiences with the other members of the group. Like we can arrange virtual picnic, we can arrange virtual visit, excursion, and after that excursion, like visit to Taj Mahal. After that, the children they were asked to discuss what are the problems in arranging a virtual visit or what are the problems in going physically to an educational excursion. In this way, group activities will be strengthened. These are some way out to control the damage of interactions which are missing in this virtual mode. Now, what we have away ahead, what are the lessons we have to take from this COVID? Now, since we are experiencing virtual teaching and we are doing it now for more than 6 months, it is easier for the teachers as well as teacher educators to identify those areas that can run virtually permanently in future because we don't have enough staff and we don't have enough facilities that we can all the time really depend upon the contemporary methods. Now we are trained, all the teacher educators and teachers are trained for the virtual mode. Now we can identify the areas which can run virtually permanently in future. Number two, now there are remote areas, distant remote areas where the teacher cannot reach. In those situations, we can provide training or teaching through virtual classes. One thing, again, we can also draw a lesson that the classroom teaching, the visits, we can replace visits and classroom teaching with the virtual arrangements if needed when we don't have इनफ रिसोर्स पर्सन्स, लोग ही नहीं है आपके पास में, अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं है, तो क्या करें? सब जगह पे आपको प्रोग्राम करना है, व्हाट विल यू डू? आप क्या करोगे? तो वर्चुअल मोड यू कैन अरेंज रिसोर्स पर्सन्स, इवन पेरेंट्स। पेरेंट्स क्या करें? Parents can also facilitate their child's learning by using different educational apps and websites. Parents are in the COVID time of COVID, they are they are behaving as a teacher as well as a parent. So they should be oriented in using different educational websites and apps so that uh, natural interactions, informal interactions, and natural interactions can be, to some extent, be transferred to the children. We are together in this COVID. Let's say goal of different social institutions who are socializing the child is changed at the time of COVID pandemic, and unless until the situation will be normal or some vaccine will be created, we have to we have to live with this pandemic, and we have to search for the solutions, that what solutions we can have to overcome this problem. Like in school system, I have discussed only two systems. One is school system, another is family as an institution of socialization. So what next we can do to improve our informal interactions and to improve our socialization by using a mixed mode, using our virtual mode combined with the direct physical interactions. Thank you, viewers. Thanks for listening. In the end, I will conclude. मंजिल उनको मिलती है मंजिल उनको मिलती है जिनके सपनों में जान होती है, पंखों से कुछ नहीं होता, हौसलों से उड़ान। We are all in this together and try to replicate informal relations through various avenues. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for patient listening. Thank you.